On the outskirts of the sleepy town of Blackwater lay a dark, sprawling lake known to locals as Moonlit Lake. The lake, with its inky black waters and eerie stillness, was a place of both beauty and dread. Legends surrounded the lake, the most chilling of which spoke of a killer who once used its murky depths to hide his grisly deeds. The story began decades ago when a man named Victor Harlow terrorized the town. Harlow was a fisherman by trade, but beneath his rugged exterior lay a twisted soul. He lured unsuspecting victims to the lake under the pretense of night fishing, only to murder them and dump their bodies in the water. For years, the lake swallowed Harlow's secrets until his reign of terror ended when he mysteriously vanished. Fast forward to the present, a group of college friends Alex, Emma, Nick, and Rachel decided to spend a weekend camping by Moonlit Lake. They were drawn by the lake's haunting beauty and the thrill of its macabre history. As they set up their tents and lit a campfire, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the water.
This place gives me the creeps.
Emma said, shivering as she gazed at the lake.
I've heard stories about a killer who used to dump bodies here.
Nick, ever the skeptic, laughed.
Oh, come on, Emma. Those are just old ghost stories to scare kids. There's no killer in the lake.
Rachel, however, couldn't shake the feeling of unease.
Whether the stories are true or not, this place does have a weird vibe. Let's just stick together, okay?
As night fell, the friends gathered around the fire, toasting marshmallows and telling ghost stories. The air grew colder and a thick fog rolled in from the lake, cloaking the campsite in an almost supernatural silence. Alex, always the thrill seeker, decided to up the ante. Let's take the rowboat out on the lake, he suggested. We can see the stars better from the middle. Emma hesitated, but Nick and Rachel were game. Reluctantly, Emma agreed, and the four friends climbed into the old rowboat, pushing off into the dark water. The lake was eerily calm, the only sound the gentle lapping of water against the boat. As they reached the center of the lake, Alex turned off the boat's lantern, plunging them into near total darkness. The stars above were breathtaking, but the oppressive darkness below was unsettling. Emma clung to Nick's arm, her unease growing with each passing moment.
Okay, we've seen the stars. Let's head back.
Emma urged, but as Alex reached for the oars, something caught his eye in the water, a faint, ghostly light, like a lantern moving beneath the surface.
Did you guys see that?
Alex whispered, pointing to the strange glow. Rachel peered over the edge of the boat.
What is that?
Before anyone could answer, the boat rocked violently, as if something massive had struck it from below. Emma screamed, clutching Nick tightly. The water around them began to churn, and the ghostly light grew brighter, illuminating the lake from within. Suddenly, a ghastly face appeared beneath the water, its eyes empty sockets, its mouth twisted in a silent scream. It was the face of Victor Harlow, his ghostly form reaching up from the depths to drag them down. The boat tipped, throwing the friends into the icy water. Panic set in as they struggled to stay afloat, the ghostly lights whirling around them. Alex tried to swim back to the boat, but something grabbed his leg, pulling him under. He resurfaced, gasping for air, only to be dragged down again. Emma, Nick, and Rachel swam desperately for shore, but the water seemed to pull them back, the ghostly hands of Harlow's victims reaching out to claim them. Emma felt a cold grip around her ankle and screamed, kicking frantically to free herself. She managed to break free, but the others weren't so lucky. Nick was pulled under, his terrified screams silenced by the water. Rachel struggled against the invisible force dragging her down, her eyes wide with terror. Emma could only watch in horror as her friends were taken by the lake. Emma reached the shore, collapsing onto the muddy bank, gasping for breath. She turned to look at the lake, its surface now eerily calm. The ghostly light had disappeared, leaving only the dark, silent water. Shivering and soaked, Emma stumbled back to the campsite, her mind reeling. She grabbed her phone and called 911, her voice trembling as she told the operator what had happened. Within minutes, the sound of sirens pierced the night and police and rescue teams arrived at the scene. As the authorities searched the lake, they found no trace of Alex, Nick, or Rachel. The boat was recovered, but it was empty save for a single old-fashioned lantern, its glass cracked but still glowing faintly with an otherworldly light. The town of Blackwater was once again gripped by fear as news of the disappearances spread. Moonlit Lake, already steeped in legend, became the epicenter of a new wave of ghost stories. Some said the lake was cursed, others believed the spirit of Victor Harlow had returned to continue his reign of terror. Emma never returned to Blackwater. The memories of that night haunted her, the faces of her friends lost to the depths forever etched in her mind. She moved to a new town, changed her name, and tried to start over, but the nightmares never stopped. Years later, a new group of thrill seekers ventured to Moonlit Lake, drawn by the legends and the promise of a good scare. As they set up camp and prepared to explore the dark waters, a lone figure watched from the shadows, her eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and fear. Emma knew the truth. The killer in the lake was real, and he was still waiting for his next victims. She tried to warn them, but the allure of the legend was too strong. The lake claimed more lives that night, and the cycle of horror continued. Moonlit Lake remained a place of beauty and dread, its dark waters hiding the secrets of the past, and the restless spirit of Victor Harlow continued to haunt its depths, ever waiting for the next soul to join his ghostly ranks.